Thank you for joining us on Idaho State of Mind, where we endeavor to educate the citizens of Idaho on the state of higher education. I'm Libby Howe. This is a production of Idaho State University, and we are proud that the majority of the show's content is created by Idaho State University students. Our top story: the U.S. government has invested over $2 million into a large project at Idaho State University's College of Engineering. This project has over 20 PhD-level faculty members and graduate students working to make life easier for amputees. They are building a smarter hand. Chris Cole has the story.
What you're seeing here is unlike anything that has ever been involved with the world of prosthetics. Most advanced prosthetic limbs do not recognize signals the brain has sent to the arm, judging the amount of pressure or angle of the joints to place on an object. It's like trying to pick up a cup, but without any idea of what it looks like or how heavy it is. Thankfully, a group of some of ISU's most talented engineers is working on a solution thanks to a grant from the U.S. Department of Defense.
This is a multidisciplinary project involving various programs within engineering, like electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, computer science, and environmental engineering.
These engineering departments are also working with researchers from health science, biomedical science, and pharmaceutical science. One group that gets the more hands-on duty is the electromyography or EMG group. This group conducts the tests, as you see here, and focuses on the EMG data that the skeletal muscles produce.
And we extract that and look at what useful information is in there. Say, for example, in terms of the force that the person is trying to generate, or the joint angles that the fingers make for a particular EMG signal.
One issue that makes this even more complex is that not all of the hand and finger muscles go into the arm. For example, if you were to lose your hand, you would lose the ability to control the digit that makes us different from most species on Earth.
So the thumb motion and forces, they have to be controlled by a different muscle. So the person has to go to training, physical therapy training to make sure that the person can activate the thumb on the prosthetic hand.
The hope for this technologically superior hand is that soldiers that lose limbs due to injuries in war zones can possibly continue to serve if they wish. Dr. Naidu and his team hope to create a prosthetic that will benefit all citizens, whether military or not, and that boils down to one factor: cost.
And this was, kind of earmark. So we want to thank both the university administration and the Idaho congressional delegation for funding this project.
From the ISU Engineering Lab, Chris Cole, Idaho State of Mind.
Phase 3 will include a man-made skin that will be less irritating to the area where the prosthetic limb connects to the amputation site. The prosthetic team hopes to have Phase 2 completed soon and will begin the third phase shortly after. Climate change is one hot topic, and the Pacific Northwest could be in for a dry spell. That's according to a recent study examining weather patterns in this area from the last 6,000 years. Idaho State University Biological Sciences professor Bruce Finney was a primary researcher in the study. Data indicated that extreme weather patterns like wet spells or droughts have become longer in duration. In the distant past, these weather patterns lasted between 30 to 60 years. However, in the past 1,000 years, the duration has increased to patterns lasting about a century. If the pattern stays the same, the Pacific Northwest is due for a long dry period. For the 6th year in a row, ISU accounting students are volunteering their time to help local residents fill out and send in their income taxes. It's called the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program. Student volunteers go through training provided by the IRS. Then they must pass an IRS designated tax preparation test before being able to help with any tax returns.
But in general, we do mostly personal returns, so all the volunteers are working with teachers, students, a lot of people that are lower income in the community.
About 75 to 100 returns are completed over the course of the program. The tax returns are then viewed by a certified volunteer to ensure quality. As the state-designated provider of health professions education, Idaho State University brings us Healthy State of Mind, a segment dedicated to all things health-related. According to the American Dental Association, as many as 80% of adults have some form of gum disease. That's cause for concern because doctors say gum disease can harm the rest of your body. How so, and what can you do about it? Idaho State of Mind reporter Chris Gabitas dropped by the ISU Family Dentistry Clinic in Boise for some answers.
Your mouth is a portal to the rest of your body, and how you care for your teeth and gums can affect your overall health. Take the bacteria that grow in your mouth when you don't brush or floss your teeth.
When that bacteria has the chance to be introduced into the rest of the body, it can begin to impact then especially the heart, the cardiovascular system, or other organs.
Dr. Pamela Powell is co-site director of the ISU Family Dentistry Clinic in Boise. She says bacteria can enter the bloodstream through infected gums and tissue, traveling to vital organs. In fact, researchers have found that people with gum disease are almost twice as likely to suffer from coronary artery disease than those with healthy gums. Most of us know we should brush our teeth at least twice a day, but Dr. Powell says don't forget to floss.
You're actually not only cleaning the tooth surfaces between the teeth, you're also able to get down into the little collar of gum tissue that's around each tooth.
Dentists recommend flossing thoroughly once a day, preferably before bedtime. And a word about sweets. Did you know this?
Not so much the quantity as much as the frequency of those sweets or those crackers or those cereals.
Eating sweets throughout the day enables acids and sugars to build up on the tooth surface, causing tooth decay. If you can't brush after a snack, at least rinse your mouth with water. That should help clean the surface of your teeth. Chris Gabitas, Idaho State of Mind.
Maintaining good dental health can be difficult if you don't have dental insurance. Some communities do offer low-cost dental options. For example, the ISU dental clinics in Boise and Pocatello provide dental services on a sliding fee scale. In today's show, we are going to explore the many ways that the arts flourish in a university environment. Chris Cole will take us through the Stevens Performing Arts Center and all it has to offer. Conductor of the Idaho State Civic Symphony, Dr. Chung Park, will join us to discuss the delicate art. We will also look into other art forms that are not only celebrated but are thriving at ISU. But first, the city of Pocatello has been a hub for the arts since its early beginnings in the 1800s. One art form that found its perfect home in the West was theatrical pageants.
Artists would do these gigantic murals, and then actors would act it out in front of the murals.
This is why historic downtown Pocatello has a history of supporting the arts from the beginning. It started in 1877 when the Utah and Northern Railway was extended into Idaho. The Pocatello Junction was born and brought with it a wave of artists of all kinds. Minerva Teichert grew up in American Falls and was among these artists. She painted Native Americans moving away due to new settlers, as well as depictions of the Wild West. Teichert's paintings brought the Wild West alive to Easterners when she later moved across the country to study her passion. From the city's artistic roots to modern day, Pocatello and its surrounding communities continue their support of the arts. We go now to the art of music and the Idaho State Civic Symphony. Music lovers from both the university and the surrounding community have come together for many years to bring the joy of music to the citizens of Southeast Idaho. Idaho State of Mind reporter Deanne Coffin takes us on a musical journey with the symphony.
The Idaho State Civic Symphony is the oldest orchestra in the state of Idaho.
We have a very active board. They're all a volunteer board. There's 30 members of these people throughout the community that just have a passion for the symphony and for its success in this community.
There are a variety of members in the orchestra, including one man that has been with the Idaho State Civic Symphony since 1976.
I've held it up for many years now. It's holding me up. Probably saved my sanity over the years and different times, or maybe it hasn't. When I leave the house for a rehearsal or a concert, the wife says, "Have fun, remember that's why you're doing it." And that is why I'm doing it. It's wonderful to be able to participate in something beautiful.
The orchestra also consists of a newer generation of members.
I started when I came to ISU and was offered scholarship.
Not only being a mother of two and in the orchestra,
I am an analytical laboratory technician.
In April 2005, the Stevens Performing Arts Center became the new home for the symphony, located on the campus at ISU, where it draws young and old audiences alike.
Usually our Christmas concerts tend to sell out, and for the Vivaldi's Four Seasons, it actually, we sold more, had more people come to even that than the Christmas concert. So.
A combination of a great concert hall and musicians with a passion makes for a successful symphony.
You know, obviously this concert hall brings a whole level of people want to perform at their very best, and obviously when we have a concertmaster our conductor that just really brings the best out of everyone. They want to perform well for him, and that in turn perform well for the community.
Reporting from the Stevens Performing Arts Center, Deanne Coffin, Idaho State of Mind.
The Idaho State Civic Symphony puts on 5 classical concerts each year. Well, it is a joy that today we have the opportunity to welcome the symphony conductor to our studio. Dr. Chung Park is an assistant professor of music at Idaho State University and director of the Idaho State Civic Symphony. Dr. Park, thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me here.
To start out, tell us a little bit about the symphony, its makeup, its collaboration with ISU.
Well, the symphony is pretty much a 50-50 collaboration between the community and Idaho State University. About half of its members are community members who are there on a volunteer basis, and the other half is comprised of students and faculty. And we have other support as well, things that people don't see. The graphic arts department does all of our graphic design, and they made our beautiful new logo, and they do all of these things. So in ways both very visible, people on stage, and rather less visible, ISU and the symphony are very, I hope, inextricably tied together.
That's a wonderful collaboration that it all comes together like that. Now, one of your passions about music is you want to make it accessible to everybody, not just elite music lovers. Tell us how your philosophy influences your approach to the symphony.
Well, one thing I truly believe is that everybody loves the sound of an orchestra. People go to movies all the time, and they hear it on TV. It's all around us. I think that if you were actually to take the sound of an orchestra completely out of our lives in every way, that people would, even if they never thought they were listening to an orchestra, even if they only liked music that was outside of classical music, they would feel that something is missing from their lives. So I think that what we really need to do is just find the correct context to introduce people to classical music and to get them loving it, or really just the sound of an orchestra. It doesn't even have to be classical music. I truly, honestly do not care if people don't like Beethoven, but I hope they love the sound of an orchestra. And so we have our classical concerts, and also I'm hoping to bring in other artists here, and we've been working really hard on it. Next year we have Marcus Roberts Trio, which is one of the world's foremost jazz ensembles, coming in to play with the symphony. We're working on getting artists like Alison Krauss, Harry Connick Jr., big name artist Bela Fleck, and I think each one of those people addresses a different part of our community. And so what we really want to do is to turn the Stevens Performing Arts Center in Jensen Hall into Southeast Idaho's living room. That's the goal, and to let people know that there's great stuff going on here, and that you don't have to come up to the pack in a tuxedo. We want you there just like I am today, in your jeans.
Now, there are a lot of things that are taking kids' attention away from, let's say, going into music. They have Xbox, PlayStation. Are kids going into music now? Are they getting interested in it?
They are. I don't think that there's a dearth of kids who are interested in doing music. They know that it's a different experience. Kids, I think, and I have a brother who's much younger than I am, I think they know where the lines are. I think there are very few kids, even when I go and I do orchestra festivals, there are very few kids who are in orchestra texting. That kind of thing almost never happens. And I think their attention spans are just fine. I think that what we really need to do is to make it different and not try to compete with that, and appeal to their hearts and their intellect. And if we do that, I think we'll be just fine. I
think you've made some excellent points about making music accessible, making it something that people recognize that they love. Thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your insight into music with us.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Performance schedules for the Idaho State Civic Symphony can be found at our website at isu.edu/Idaho State of Mind. There are many times in life when you decide to upgrade, whether it be your phone, your hairstyle, or the interior of your home. In October of 2004, Idaho State University upgraded the way performing arts students are able to share their talent. Idaho State of Mind's reporter Chris Cole has the story.
290,000 bricks, 1 million feet, or 189 miles of electric wiring. 16.8 acres overlooking the campus of Idaho State University, 123,000 square feet, $34 million. Construction on the Stevens Performing Arts Center began in 2002 and was finished in 2004. The Stevens Center has received national attention from renowned musical talent including Carole King and Colby Calais.
In my 15 years here before the concert hall opened, we had a scattering. We've had some guest artists, but that number has just shot up exponentially in the last 5 years since the concert hall has been open.
Many sections of the building are named after the funding providers who made the Stevens Center possible. There are 3 main performance halls. The Beverly B. Beislein Thrust Theater is where the first ever performance took place and seats about 500 people. The James E. and Beverly Rogers Black Box Theater seats about 230 people. And finally, the Joseph C. and Cheryl H. Jensen Grand Concert Hall seats 1,200 people and is close to 14,000 square feet. I'm sitting in the Jensen Grand Concert Hall in what many have described as the best seat in the house. This is based on acoustic levels, how good it sounds. With 5 different ways to adjust the acoustics, everything sounds great.
I mean, it's first class. I have had people come from all over the country. I mean, international performers, other competing colleges in our region, and they are just overwhelmed about this facility.
Behind the scenes is just as impressive. The Stevens Center has several classrooms where theater students can learn about set lighting, set construction, and even costume creation. Many theater students hear tales or even remember the days when costumes were located in 5 separate rooms in 2 different buildings. Now they are all located in the Stevens Center.
It just makes communication a lot easier, just because we are all here, props department and costumes and, you know, the scene shop. Having it all in the same building really helps things run smoothly.
We do not take a back seat to anyone. Our facility is, I mean, first class. I mean, there are larger facilities in different markets, but I mean, as far as the design, the acoustics, the qualities, first class.
These are just some of the many details in the fabric that is the Performing Arts Center. And the Jensen Grand Concert Hall, Chris Cole, Idaho State of Mind.
The architect of the Stevens Center won a national award for acoustic designs, artful implementation of those designs, and general use of modern ideas. The Stevens Performing Arts Center at ISU took 2 years to build and cost $34 million. The vast majority of that money came from donations, people who have a passion for ISU and the performing arts. The center bears the name of L.E. and Thelma E. Stevens. They gifted $10 million toward the creation of the building. Major donors include Joseph C. and Cheryl H. Jensen, Beverly Beislein, James and Beverly Rogers. Each has a venue named in their honor. But not every gift came in a $1 million package. Donations, both large and small, came together to make the magnificent building a reality.
Different people have different abilities, and it's what's in their heart, and we appreciate them all just the same. So the small gifts are deeply appreciated as well.
The Stevens Center hosts 75 to 80 events each year, including during the summer months. Now on to the visual arts, where young artists at ISU have many opportunities to not only view a variety of art, they also have the means to display their own artwork. Elaine Washam has the story.
Random shapes, curved lines, abstract objects, colors both hot and cold. On a night plagued with a nasty storm, the opening night for an art show was held in the Mind's Eye Gallery at ISU. While the weather might have been bleak, the artist was lively. Alexa Goff wanted a place to share her work with her peers and the community. At ISU, this dream is easily a reality. Any student who wants to create a show can apply to have a month-long spot by filling out an application online.
It was my first time in charge of hanging everything in the gallery myself, and so That was fairly stressful, but I had some good help.
Goff is grateful for this opportunity. She feels it is important to have a venue for young artists to get started.
Well, I feel that that's what art and academics are, is experimenting.
Each time slot is open to any artist in the community. However, student artists are able to create a show at no cost to themselves. Each student is also able to receive financial help with some of the materials needed to display their work, such as mounting board. At the Mind's Eye Gallery, Elaine Washam, Idaho State of Mind.
Students are also able to send out postcard invitations to their opening nights and put prices on each piece of art. We will have a link on our website for a list of current exhibits or to apply for a time slot. Blaring music, dim lights, and unique costumes, and a backdrop comprised of plastic bags were all part of Transitions, one of the many concerts held by Dance ISU, Idaho State University's dance program. Faculty, along with students, practice and perform pieces choreographed by Dance ISU staff and outside choreographers.
The pieces just kind of emerge as we work over the semester, so every concert is a new beginning.
Dance ISU is part of the Department of Theater and Dance. They are expected to expand the program by offering a Bachelor of Arts in Dance by fall of 2012. In communities across Idaho, there tends to be a huge demand for good piano teachers. ISU music majors are stepping forward to fill that demand. It's called the ISU Preparatory Piano Program. Community members intent on learning to tickle the ivories have the opportunity to take lessons from piano majors. Idaho State of Mind's Jeff Beery shows us that it's a win-win learning opportunity for both the students and the teachers.
What's the fastest way to a scholarship? Practice, practice,
Sometimes I don't get to practice as much as I would like to.
and practice. Lydia Delahanty has practice and is preparing for an audition for a music scholarship. Lydia is also a participant at the Preparatory Piano Program at ISU. The Preparatory Piano Program uses ISU students as classroom instructors.
It's been so good. Like I said, I've been playing since I was 8, so coming from that level where I really didn't know what I was doing, like learning notes and everything, to the level where I am now has been, it's been a long journey.
The program connects to the community with its open door policy.
The community can come in and see how students here at ISU who are majoring in music teach. And I think it's one of the best ways for the students here at ISU to learn. And they're portraying their knowledge to students. So in a way, students are really getting kind of a good deal.
The piano program has helped Abby and Lydia, and it's giving Lydia opportunities for the future.
It would also be really fun to be like a classical pianist or something. So, I'm not really sure where to go. And like I said, it's a very versatile instrument, so you can do a lot of different things with it.
Jeff Beery, Idaho State of Mind.
The program has taught about 500 community members in the last 10 years, with students ranging from as young as 5 years old to up to 70 years young. Ready to get in shape and enjoy the process? Idaho State University has expanded the Student Recreation Center to help students not only enhance their mind, but their entire well-being. $7 million and 32,000 square feet later, ISU has a beautiful new and improved athletic center. Idaho State of Mind's Summer Geock takes us on a tour of the new facility.
The before picture of the rec center could be described as dark and small. It was located in the basement and included older and less variety of equipment.
I heard they were dark and dungeon-like, so I never went there.
Get your stopwatches out though, because the new expansion of the recreation center is now open. The expansion includes new tennis and racquetball courts, a running track, weightlifting and cardio areas, a climbing wall, and areas for stretching and doing some floor workouts. Some of the cardio equipment even includes television screens where you can watch your favorite TV show while you work out. Another exciting offer for the ISU community is professional massage therapy. The massages cost about $20 for half an hour and take place in the new facility.
According to the director of the rec center, this new expansion has led to many more students and faculty starting to work out, including me.
We wanted something that was
new, modern-looking, kind of health clubbish, and something that would really help us recruit new students.
The Recreation Center is for the ISU community. That includes students, faculty, and family members of those.
So I saw them building it, and I was actually pretty stoked to finally have a good gym on campus because I went to Boise State, so they have a huge rec center down there. So it's really nice to have the one we have here now.
Idaho State University invested in this expansion to give faculty and students the opportunity to work out in a clean, open, and safe environment.
I know that everybody I talked to was really pleased with how this is a newer, more expansive, cleaner, modern-looking space, and so I think everybody that comes here is extremely happy with it and proud that we have this here on our campus.
At the Rec Center, I'm Summer Giak, Idaho State of Mind.
This facility is maintained through a combination of ISU student fees and faculty and staff membership dues. In light of a world that no doubt has its problems and strife, the Idaho State University community is reaching out a hand in a multitude of ways. In another episode of Idaho State of Mind, we will explore how people at ISU are making a difference. We will talk about how serving is being integrated into classrooms at ISU. The first-year seminar program is incorporating service learning, where freshmen are taught that serving others not only benefits the community, but the giver receives benefits as well. And we'll meet Dr. Richard Hansen, ISU's own swashbuckling archaeologist. From uncovering ancient Mayan temples to helping save the rainforest, Dr. Hansen's working to transform the jungles of Guatemala. You won't want to miss that story. And that is all for this episode of Idaho State of Mind. Thank you for joining us. From the campus of Idaho State University, I'm Libby Howe. We'll see you next time.